hiphopalumni.com. In 2011, I posted a video of exit interviews for my rhetoric of hip-hop students while I was teaching at New Mexico State University. Since then, I've relocated to Buffalo, where now I'm a grad student and teaching hip-hop-based classes here as well. The following video you're about to watch is a sequence of exit interviews for my hip-hop and social issues students for the year of 2013. Please feel free to hit us up on Twitter. Thank you, and thanks for watching.
I got into this class through a friend who was just suggesting a fun, easy class to take last semester senior year. Little did I know, but it was, and it sounded like an interesting subject and topic, and I'm big on hip hop and music and just in general and all that sector, so I was like, let me take it on.
Originally I took the class because I needed a humanities requirement. I looked through all the classes and I stumbled upon African American Studies, and then as soon as I saw hip hop, I was like, why not take that to fulfill the requirement?
As a graduating senior, I was looking through the catalog and just looking for some classes that seemed like a fun class to take. Stumbled upon African American Studies, noticed that it had hip hop and social issues.
I took this class because I really love hip hop since I was like 3. I've been dancing around to it like in diapers, so I thought it'd be really interesting to take.
Went into it like kind of thinking like I have no idea what this is going to be about, but it seems interesting, and a lot of classes were taken already, so I like saw something I was interested in and clicked on it right away. And it was definitely not what I expected. I'm completely honest. It was a lot more than I expected. The environment that we were in, I never felt like I couldn't say what I wanted to say. And I felt like it was a very like communal kind of like feeling with the class, and the way you taught it, like everyone seemed like they were very comfortable talking about whatever these topics were, which outside of the class seemed very taboo, and it wasn't at all in the class.
When I first went to the class, I kind of just found hip-hop just to be about music. I didn't know the history behind it and how it started and what created it in the first place. I just saw it as a genre of music, not how the oppressed use their skills to their advantage in an oppressive world.
It's not like this is a shocker, but finding out that race is literally a part of everything, going politically, like into different presidential campaigns, and how the rhetoric was used it was almost geared toward white supremacist views.
I'd never heard the term minstrel used before, ever. And then learning about that and the whole blackface thing and things like that, that really just kind of blew my mind. And then like relating that to hip hop, it just blew my mind even more.
Was most interesting to me would definitely be just everything we talked about with the criminal justice system. I mean, I never really knew how much it affected people. I always thought, like police, they arrest people for crimes. But, what we learned about racial profiling, how the system actually works, the different mandatory minimum sentencing, the war on drugs, just all that stuff just really changed my entire outlook.
We went to Cornell to visit the Hip Hop Archives. That changed my life, and I want to go back to do it again. Just witnessing the Hip Hop Archives and seeing where it originated from, being taught more, digging deeper into the history. Even though we weren't there for such a long time, I wish we could have stayed longer. But just seeing everything that hip hop was and where it came from, and Ben teaching us everything that he knew about it. Not everything, but what he could in the time that we had about hip hop.
Really kind of have a critical lens when you're reading something and don't take everything as exactly as it's written as that's the truth, and taught me to have like my own opinion about certain things and not just kind of take everything for face value.
The most important part that I received was that racism is not over, and that it just evolves depending on the era we live in.
One of the most important things it taught me was that the world's biggest gangsters wear badges and suits and ties. That being said, I'm talking about policemen and prosecutors and sometimes judges. Their reach extends far more than the person with a gun and a couple drugs can do. They have the power to lock you up for anything that they want to, as long as they can find evidence from somebody somewhere. That's one of the most important things I learned.
this class actually has opened my mind to actually doing hip hop theology for grad, or just taking some classes and taking that on.
There's a lot more, like I said, that I didn't know was going on, and I'm more conscious of it now, and it's also redirected where I want to take my career, because I think I would prefer to work with marginalized groups because I see where the improvement can be, and it just seems like such common sense on how to help people, and these are people who need a lot of help. And the school that I'm looking for is actually, one of the themes is helping marginalized individuals, and I've been able to take what I learned from this course and put that into my personal statement, and it's really helped me refocus my graduate studies and future career plans.
It's all political. It's all for someone else's benefit in higher position. And hip hop is simply the form, maybe not so simple, but the form of protesting that and showing perhaps your struggles growing up, even if the stories blur between fictional and real life, showing the struggles of how you beat that.
If I could take it over, I would. It was a great experience. I hope that I can have another class like that, if not similar to the subject matter and the teaching style. And I hope that I can have a class that affects my mind and wants me to go out and teach others about what I learned in that class.
This class really helped me to revamp my critical thinking, and I looked at things through the different lenses, and I decided to stay with psychology. I was going to change to something more medical field, and I just decided that there's a lot that I can improve on, and I would feel way more fulfilled as a psychology student based on what I learned from this class.
I feel like this class just stayed on your mind, because I don't think I went very long without thinking about stuff I talked about in class, and I would talk about it outside of class a lot, which kind of for me was my version of studying.
It may sound easy, but it's definitely, there's a lot of work, but the work is worth it, because you learn so much, and so it makes you want to work more, it makes you want to do more work, and it's just an open forum discussion, so you can have your own voice and you can really put your input into how you feel, and you're open to say whatever you want, and it's definitely a comfortable environment, so I would definitely recommend to anyone. You don't even have to like hip hop. It's a great class.